Welcome to the Living Big podcast, where we're all about embracing life to the fullest. Hey, I'm Marley.
And I'm Kylie, and we're thrilled you're here. We explore how to pursue our passions, nurture meaningful connections, and inject some serious fun into our lives.
We're here to show you you're not alone.
And we want to do what we can to ease the stresses of everyday life and help you in your journey of living big. Welcome back to another episode of the Living Big podcast. We are so excited to be back with you on this lovely Monday morning. It's getting warm out.
Bless.
The sun is healing our souls.
Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
It's so nice. So we're really happy to be recording.
Yeah.
And also be getting outside so much.
Yes. Feeling some life again.
Come back into our bones.
I saw this thing that it was like, man, there was some real winter uglies. It was like
major uglies.
I didn't feel good. The weather didn't feel good.
My friends didn't feel good.
It was just all uglies.
My kids didn't feel good.
Yeah. The winter uglies were here.
Oh.
And they're being chased away.
And we've been sick so much. Our little like friend group and kiddos, we just like have rotating.
Yep.
Week after week.
Yep.
So I'm like, bring out the sun, those good rays, kill all the germs, kill the uglies, all of them.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gone.
Whew. And this episode hopefully will kill the uglies too.
Amen.
Because it's about getting out and doing good.
Yes.
Which we're super passionate about, and we have some really awesome submissions this week, which will be really, really fun.
Oh, I'm way too excited.
But we also have a review from Janie. She said, I seriously love it, the podcast. I started a mom journal where I write things down to remember when things will get hard as a mom, which is so sweet. And then she also messaged me, and she was talking about how me and my husband were good inspirations to her when we first got married and in college. And she was like, I didn't have an older sister in college, so I wrote down so many things you would say, like advice and things. So I don't know with this podcast, but I just love all the friendship, dating advice, and I want to hear about your guys' experience as you grew personally in college life.
I love that.
We are going to talk more about that in the future as well.
Yeah.
We're going to get into topics for all women, not just moms.
Right.
And talk about all the things.
And I think we do that.
Yes.
But
It's relatable to everyone.
yeah.
But sometimes we do use the word mom in here.
Right. Because we are moms.
Yeah.
It
and
is-
that's our experience.
Right. Yep.
Right
That's
now.
kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Yep. I do want to point out, though, that that's really special. She said those things, being an unmarried, not mom kind of a thing. She's a younger, cute girl.
Yeah.
And for her to spend the time to listen to us is really cool and very supportive. And I feel very grateful
Well, I just
for
love that mentality of like, I always want to learn something too. Like, she's like, I have a journal for like when I'm a future mom. I'm like,
Wow.
that's amazing.
I didn't.
Like your future self is going to
Yeah.
be so grateful to have that. So I love that so much. So cute. And then she also said, it would be wild, but yes, anything for this pod. I want it to go places for real. Aww. The world needs to see this stuff. Which is so kind. I'm like, what a kind sentiment. What a kind conversation that we had. Yeah. And it was perfect to kind of segue into this topic of the power of acts of kindness and getting out and doing good and participating in those things.
I love that.
So if you have a kind thought, reach out to someone that you love and actually tell them the kind thought that you had, because it might just make their entire life to hear that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Caveat, you don't have to say it to people you just love. You can say it to anyone.
That's true.
Yes. And we'll get into that later, the genuine compliments thing. But that is important.
There is so much significance for small acts of kindness. I feel like the smaller it is almost, the more of a ripple effect it can have too. So I'm like, just start with something tiny. Start having a thought in your day every day. Like, what can I do to be kind? Who can I reach out to? How can I get outside myself and my comfort zone? And it doesn't have to be huge to make a difference in someone's life, which is awesome.
Absolutely. It really does not have to be, doesn't have to be huge. Yeah. Do you want to share a quote?
Yep. Here's a couple quotes that I loved. Jane Goodall said, what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. And Gandhi says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. I love both of these quotes because, again, it's just reminding us, like, sometimes I think we think we're too small and we can't make an impact. And And so even if we have a kind thought, it's easy to like stifle that and push that down and be like, I mean, no one's really going to miss that because it was so tiny anyway.
Right.
But it does truly make a difference, not only to somebody else, but in your own life, which is what I love about Gandhi's quote, is finding yourself is when you get out of just being inside your own head all the time and you actually start seeing other people and trying to bless their lives.
Agreed. I mean, if it really is just so small and minute and really doesn't matter, what's the harm in doing it then?
Yeah.
You know? Like if it really doesn't cost anything to do it, what's stopping you?
Sometimes I feel like it's like when you feel like you're going to be uncomfortable or have to put yourself out there a little bit. So then you're like, oh, that's what's stopping me from like doing something, even if it's tiny.
Yeah.
Because what if it's embarrassing?
So then it's not nothing.
Yeah.
It's not nothing.
Yeah.
It means something
It really does.
to both parties.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, there are actual health benefits and obviously mental health and physical health benefits to kindness. And we're going to get into them. Kindness has been shown to increase self-esteem, empathy, and compassion and improve your mood. It can decrease blood pressure and cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. A hormone directly correlated with stress levels. People, I thought I was smart there for a second. I was just getting ahead of myself. People who give of themselves in a balanced way also tend to be healthier and live longer. I love that. Kindness can increase your sense of connectivity with others. Oh, that's one of our like keywords, connectivity. Decrease loneliness, combat low mood, and improve relationships. It can also be contagious, encouraging others to join in with their own generous deeds. Ooh, I don't know about you guys, but in a post-COVID world where social media runs rampant, we could use things to combat loneliness and negativity, and we can increase connectivity. Physiologically, kindness can positively change your brain by boosting levels of serotonin and dopamine. These neurotransmitters produce feelings of satisfaction and well-being and cause the pleasure and reward centers in your brain to light up. Endorphins, your body's natural painkiller, also may be released when you show kindness. You can feel less pain physically when you are kind to people.
I just think it's so amazing. Like all the topics that we've talked about, we've done some research and pulled some of these quotes and stats from different articles. And they all say that living a positive filled life actually changes your health.
Right.
Like every single aspect of trying to live a more positive life literally changes how long you're going to live, the way you feel, and the way that you are, like mentally, physically, and everything. So it's so important to be seeking after these good things.
Yep.
Which I think is
love
so
that.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So good. There are so many opportunities in your life that you may not even recognize or notice or even be able to anticipate, right? Every day brings something new and different. And I think it's important to start your day with this question: how am I going to practice kindness today? I would say if it's not like an immediate habit for you already, that is a really good way to kind of start.
Yeah.
You know, like write it on your mirror, text yourself, like set a reminder, something to be able to remember, okay, what can I do today to be kind? What can I do to invite kindness into my life? And how can I genuinely be that way? You know? So yeah, there's lots of small ways that we can be kind and serve those around us.
I like the idea of, especially if it's not already a habit, like trying to implement some ways to remind yourself.
Yeah.
Because we all want to think and be really conscious of other people.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is just like easy to get wrapped up in our busy lives and everything we've got going on. So like you were saying, like setting that reminder or like trying to start this new habit of, okay, like I want to do more for other people today.
Yeah.
I think that's so important and super awesome.
We had recently read Power of Habit, and one of the things that he talks about in the book is that like if you want to do that thing, if you want to incorporate that habit, like obviously have small systems in place that are going to set you up for success, but also start talking about yourself as if you are that kind of person, right? I am a kind person. Imagine what that would do for yourself if you told yourself every day, I am a kind person. You know, I totally believe in affirmations and, you know, talking to yourself kindly. And I feel like that's a little way to even start that habit of being kind.
If you can make it part of your identity, it's going to go a lot farther than just like a task on a checklist, which is super cool.
Yeah. I truly believe that everyone is always going through something. And it can be tough, like you were saying, to kind of get out of our own space, our own head kind of a thing, and to think of others. But if we're all going through it, wouldn't it be better and maybe more doable if we recognize that and we're a little kinder to each other?
Yeah.
You know? We're going to get into some little ways that you can incorporate kindness into your life and to show that toward other people. But
yeah, I feel like even just having like the tools in your toolbox is helpful. So if you're not sure how you're going to start working in some extra kindness and service for other people in your day, then it can be really hard to like know what to do.
Right.
So these small ways hopefully can just kind of get us all thinking of some simple things we can do every single day.
Yeah.
To reach out to people.
Yeah, let's brainstorm some fun ones. Okay. Smile and greet people throughout your day, brighten someone's mood, and make them feel valued. That makes a huge difference. It makes a difference in how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm just from the South, and like everyone is always smiling and saying hi to each other kind of thing. And it makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like so good for the soul.
It literally makes you feel like special and warm. It's something that I love that my little girl does.
Yeah.
Is without hesitation, she doesn't know anything about a person. It doesn't matter who they are, what they look like, what they're doing. She's so excited to smile at every single person we pass in the grocery store, outside, on a walk, in a park, you know, and like genuinely every single time it fills them up and they can't help but smile back. And I'm like, that's so sweet. Whereas sometimes I like turn away or look away because I don't want to make weird, awkward eye contact with a stranger. But she doesn't have that. And I'm like, I could learn from that. It's so cute. It's so good.
Cute. Yeah. No, I was thinking about how, like, I don't know if everyone is a hiker, but I feel like the culture when you're on a hike is you always just say hi, you know,
especially here in Utah, the little breathless hi.
Yep.
But I love it.
I've even had moments of like people will just like encourage you. They're like, you're so close. Oh my goodness. That goes so far for me.
They're like, oh, it's just past this peak. You're like, oh, okay.
Bless, thank you. I'm dying, but it's thanks.
Thanks for doing that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
Holding the door for someone. So small and so big. Pregnant lady held the door for me day before yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh. I like felt awkward because I was like, I should be the one holding the door for you. But just like doing that, it just like reminds us, I guess, that like we're there. We're all human.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And you're like actually looking out for other people instead of just yourself.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that would be a good one, even in an elevator in like a workplace.
Hold the elevator.
I want to just like close it, you know. It's like, oh, elevators are an awkward place.
I know.
But sometimes that's a good reminder. Is like, no, like they're in a rush too. I should hold the elevator for them. That would be kind.
It's going to be 3 seconds of your time.
Yeah.
Is that really going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things?
No.
But
it might make them feel really good.
It might make them feel good. Might lower your cortisol.
Yeah.
Ramp up the endorphins and dopamine.
Yeah.
But
it's the same thing with talking to someone in an elevator.
Yeah.
Or just in general. And like, I'm thinking when I go into the office, there are days where I'm like, I just like need to like get up to my office.
Yeah.
And then I had this moment the other day where I was like, I need to like see people around me. Like I need to like notice them. And so I on purpose held the elevator door. A guy got in and I said, hi, how are you today? Do you work on the second floor or the third floor? What do you do here?
Yeah.
And it was super easy. And then we realized that it was my husband's boss.
Oh, how funny.
But I hadn't really like met him before formally. But I'm like, I'm glad that I was nice because that's my husband's boss.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
awesome.
in the same building as me on a different floor. But I'm like, it just would have been it would have been fine if I hadn't said anything.
Yeah.
But then the next time we met, we would have been like, were we awkwardly in the elevator not speaking to each other?
Yeah.
Like, it was just better. So
Yeah. I love that.
just try it. If they don't respond well, oh well.
They're struggling.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they just don't know how to be kind.
Yeah, maybe they need this podcast.
I know.
Just kidding. And I'll say, you know what you should do? You should listen to my recent episode of the Living Big podcast.
Yes.
Okay, our next idea is to take the time to really listen to someone when they're talking to you.
Okay. There are many levels of listening.
Yeah.
There is listening to answer. Like you're saying something, I need to say something back.
Right.
Right? There is ignoring listening where I'm just like, I just don't even care. And then there is, I am listening to be able to just be there for you.
Yeah.
So many levels of listening. And so when you're listening to someone, try to go that direction.
Yeah.
Where you're like, not trying to just like give an answer. You're trying to like, you know, help them in any way, shape, or form, because maybe not saying anything is going to be even more impactful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And just showing that you hear them like genuinely.
Yeah.
Again, with the second one where you listen but you're not. That one's the worst.
Yeah.
And it always feels bad after you like say something to someone, even if it's casual and it's clear that they didn't hear you or they were like on their phone or something.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
That's a sucky feeling.
I just wish I hadn't spoken at all.
Right. I'm so sorry to infringe on your life. My bad.
Awkward.
Yeah.
So listening,
Yeah.
actually listening.
Yeah.
And that can be hard in our fast-paced, again, like very bombarding world.
Right.
Where we do have something always on our fingertips to scroll. Like even my husband and I have to remind ourselves and each other often when we're talking, like you just naturally don't even mean to, but you just start to like, It's like, wait, hello?
Yeah.
Let's engage.
Let's be here.
Yeah.
Just right here. Ooh. Yeah. That one's a good one. I would even say that's not even just like a level of kindness. I think that's a level of just human decency.
Yeah.
Just be a good human.
I love that.
Yeah. All right. Offering a genuine compliment to other people, even the stranger in line in front of you, it might make their day. Or in the elevator, right? Oh my goodness. I have at work a bunch of sneakerheads. They all collect really fancy Nikes. They got the Dunks. They got the Dunks. I don't know. Whoo,
They got the
Jordans, the Air Force Ones. That's about all I know. Anywho, yeah. And so like, I just know from experience, like pointing out their shoes.
Just makes their absolute
They're
life.
like, yes, someone noticed my shoes. Yeah. I don't know these guys, but like,
but they're passionate about what they're wearing on their feet.
Exactly.
So you noticing that makes them excited.
yeah, I feel like complimenting people's clothes is like one of the easiest things, especially if you can tell that they put effort into it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty easy to tell when someone like put effort into the way that they look. So being able to like compliment that is great. But we were kind of talking about it on a different podcast with McCall. How, right? Was it McCall?
Yeah.
How she tries. No, it was a different podcast that we recorded on someone else's podcast.
Lisa?
Yes. Rather than commenting on how they look, you can go even deeper and compliment something about their personality, their character, their behaviors, or whatever.
Well, I had just the other day, there was a new Barnes & Noble opening here in American Fork, and I took my little girl to it. And it was crazy. There were so many people, and the line was literally wrapped around the whole building just to check out.
Yeah.
Like, not just to see the cool authors they had there, which they had Brandon Mull, Fablehaven. Hope all of you have read that. If you haven't, you should, even though it's for children. It's so good. Have you not read
I
it?
have not read it.
That's no.
I know.
Okay, we'll fix it.
I'll
It's
read
okay.
it.
Okay, that's good to know. Anyway, but just to check out, and I had a couple books in particular that I really wanted, and Coley wanted a cookie, so we had to do multiple lines, and I'm in line. It's crazy pants. There's this old man behind us, and he just turned to me and he was like, "You're such an awesome mom for bringing your kid here." On like a crazy day, and like
think I would cry.
reading books to her and like introducing her to this world, you know. And I was like, and then we ended up having again, we were in line for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
A great conversation in line.
That is
And we could have just ignored each other, but it was so fun. I learned about his life, how he goes to Barnes & Noble every single week, reads a book, and gets a vanilla frappuccino.
How
you know?
cute.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like all about his grandkids. It was so fun.
I want to be just like him.
Yeah.
That's
So I
so
was
cool.
like, thank you for talking to me. And not just talking to me, but he did also give me a super nice compliment,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
Yep. I feel like that's always a good one as well. Like going with the mom compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moms are usually in the thick of it, usually. So seeing a mom that's got a lot going on, rather than being like, oh, you look like you got your hands full, just be like, you're doing amazing.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll go miles for that woman.
Just giving them a little bit of validation too.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, you know what? I see you.
Yeah.
I get
Yep.
you. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, our next one is help with small tasks like helping someone carry their groceries,
Yeah.
picking up something someone dropped. I love when someone picks up something that I have dropped or knocked over for me, especially being pregnant and like holding another toddler on my, you bump stuff. They're like flinging their arms about.
Yeah.
It gets crazy and it's so hard to like navigate that whole situation. So every time someone comes over and just starts helping me in a store,
Yeah.
life made,
Yep.
day made. I love it.
Like the Costco people.
Yeah.
They'll just like pull your cart over. They'll entertain your toddler while they're still in the cart.
Yeah.
They'll unload it all for you and then load it back. Oh my gosh, I love Costco.
Yeah.
I was just thinking even like when you're trying to like return your cart or whatever, that can be really tough. Juggling all your stuff and your kid and things
Multiple
like that.
kids.
And I'm the type of person that is like, I have to return my cart or else like I feel awful.
Again, that's like a decent human thing.
I would think. Anywho, so like anytime anyone is like, hey, can I return that for you? Or can I take that from you? I'm like,
Please.
thank you.
So then doing that for someone else.
Yeah.
Like if you see a mom who clearly has like 3 kids she needs to load up in her car plus an entire thing of groceries, if you're like, hey, I'll help you put them in your car real quick and then I'll grab your cart for you and I'm going to take it into the store. Oh, life made right there.
Yep. That's it.
Life made.
Life made for
I
sure.
love that. And it does create that like connection even just for a brief moment
Yeah.
with a stranger.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Ooh, I love that. Just reminding us that we're all human. We're all just trying to like, you know, we're all just trying to be okay.
Another one I love is thank you notes or thank you texts.
Yeah.
Or thank you Marco Polos.
I think you're really good at that.
Or thank you whatever in general. Like at the end of hanging out with somebody, I just love to be able to send that out to someone. Like I'm like, thank you for spending this much time with me. Like, thank you. I know you have a busy life. Thank you for dedicating that amount of time. And I hope that makes them feel good, but it also makes me feel great, you know? So thank you notes and texts. Love those.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, those are good. Yep, for sure. And I feel like those never, like, you can't ever send too many of those.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I mean, we hang out all the time and we still will send
Yeah.
we'll send each other texts and be like, oh, that was so fun.
At the end of everything, I'm like,
Yeah.
if you don't, then you're like, I don't know. It's a good way to wrap it up in a
Yeah.
nice little bow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. This episode is proudly sponsored by Event Penguin, your go-to solution for creating unforgettable events. Say goodbye to clunky and hard-to-use event sites and create your next event in minutes today.
Whether it's a party, conference, or a networking event, Event Penguin has everything you need to bring your vision to life. Visit eventpenguin.com today and discover beautiful, customizable event pages that make planning a breeze. With a seamless guest experience, Event Penguin lets you focus on what truly matters, making your event a smashing success. Start building your community through events effortlessly. Jump in!
Sharing your knowledge or skills with others who might benefit from it. That one's a really good one.
Yeah.
That one's like an expert level one, I feel like. When you volunteer your time and your expertise to be able to spend that with someone and help kind of pass that along.
Yeah.
But I know for me personally, I really appreciate it when people invest anything like that into me.
Yeah.
It's great. Love that.
I know. It's a great one.
Yeah. It's a good one for sure.
Okay. Encourage someone who is working hard or facing a challenge. Be someone's cheerleader.
I would even submit that, like, just always be a cheerleader, you know? Don't be the opposite. We don't need that in this world, you know?
Don't be a tear downer.
No, there's a lot of sad and hard things going on in everyone's lives that I just don't feel like it's at all necessary to be negative toward other people, whether that's to their face or not to their face.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's in a conversation with someone else, whether that's online, whether that's whatever. You know, it just, life is too short and too hard to be that way to other people. It really is. So obviously, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But if you want to go the extra mile, be a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Hype people up.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's so important.
Yeah.
And then another one, because we do live in a digital world.
Right.
Practicing kindness online. This is so important because the people you are talking to online, if you're commenting, are legit human beings.
They're real.
They live life and they feel the way you feel.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy. You're like, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
But why be mean online? Like, why be a bully?
Right.
Behind, like, it makes you look weak and small.
Right.
To be a bully via a closed door.
Ooh, and my favorite is even like the burner accounts
Yeah.
that aren't even real. You know, there's no picture, there's no information, there's no people that's following them. Hate that.
I just don't know how you're going to sleep at night if you're like facelessly bullying somebody online and then just like, yeah, like what is that doing for you or them? Like
Does that help?
you say the comment and then you're just like, yeah,
I feel great.
so tickled today.
Here's my thought is like, I feel like maybe this comment between us or whatever is not 100% like for our audience.
Yeah, no,
so I'm like, you guys are
definitely
nice people.
No, you guys are so supportive
Yeah.
of us and you always say super nice things on our own online stuff. But
Yeah.
I just noticed like I always like launch into the comment section and I'm like, even that is like not always
Yeah.
great.
What does that do to you?
Because I'm
it
looking
doesn't
for
do
the
good
beef.
things to me. I'm like, oh, let me go see what people have said. They've said something funny.
Yeah. And I
And
don't
usually
li-
it's terrible.
If it's funny or if it's like jokes or whatever or
Right.
like a funny reel, I love to see what witty people things come up with.
Yes.
But we also, it's like, ooh, I want to see the tea spilled here.
Yes.
I'm like, why am I doing that? Like,
I know.
I'm giving these people validity in their meanness.
See, and then it also,
That's not good.
it makes you start to look for those things.
Yes.
It starts a habit of looking for those
Or
things.
thinking them, even if you're not saying them on
Right.
someone's account.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I'm going to be hypercritical of this, but that, what? No, we don't need that.
You
Anyway,
don't need that.
just remembering that people behind these accounts that we're commenting on are like genuine human
They're
beings.
humans. Yeah.
So,
Yep. And here's the thing is people that are online bullies, a lot of times they're hurt. They got a lot going on
Yeah.
and they're not okay, you know, and they just don't know how to process their own emotions, which
Yeah.
just means that they're emotionally immature and it's kind of sad for them. We just don't need to fuel that fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of like saying, here's what not to do, I guess what we should say is, here is what to do online.
Be a cheerleader.
Be a cheerleader and actually like spread light.
Right.
So like if you have a nice thought, comment.
Share it.
It makes people feel so good.
Yeah.
And it might help their business. Like you just don't
Yeah.
know what it can do.
Like this is their job.
Yeah.
How would you feel if like your boss said something crappy to you, you know, versus something encouraging? You know, we're kind of their boss when it comes to influencers and what they're doing with their work and things like that. And that can be really, really hard.
Yeah. I also think that another great way to practice like positivity online is even just like sharing uplifting content on your own page or on your stories. I feel like it's really easy to dive into like, again, like we want to like farm impressions or get reactions out of people. And so we might put some, I think of, again, like Twitter is kind of a very, very toxic place in my
Inflammatory.
opinion. Yeah, it's pretty inflammatory. But like people like that and they do it on purpose. But if you're
absolutely.
always putting kind of this like negative energy out onto your stories and things like that, like you are building kind of a negative space online. So I like to think to myself like, okay, am I posting this to like get people riled up?
Yeah.
And my stories?
Yeah.
Or does this have like a good purpose behind it? Is it going to help somebody?
Yeah.
Is it fun? Is it light? Is
Is
it
it
cute?
enjoyable?
Does it
Yeah.
spread light?
Is it going to make someone's day and make them feel better?
Or is it going to make this person feel real bad.
Yeah.
The people who see it.
Oh,
So.
some tough stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, these are just a few ideas, few examples here of how to, be a little kinder and show that human side and, just kind of connect a little bit. The key is being attentive to the needs of others and actually looking for opportunities to show kindness and generosity in your everyday actions.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with being responsible emotionally for these people,
Yes.
right? Being attentive to people's needs, it can be kind of tricky, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Being able to just notice things around you and just be like, oh, they're done with their cart. Let me go grab that, you know? Or like, oh, that person definitely put effort into what they're wearing today. I should say something,
That person knocked that over.
Oh.
I can go help them pick it up.
Let me go help them.
She's got a big old belly.
Exactly.
She's got a baby in there.
Yeah. Or even knowing people in your circle that are like, they're really struggling. Maybe I could like send them $5 on Venmo so they can go get themselves a little treat,
Drop flowers off.
Exactly. Yeah. Or just even send a text and just be like, hey, I'm thinking of you. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Little things.
Easy.
So
Small.
easy.
We had such amazing submissions about kindness, and I'm really excited to share these because, again, I think like we can learn so much from other people's experiences and from their own stories. And so these were really inspiring to me. We also have permission to use their names for this one, so this one's not anonymous.
Yay.
Which is fun.
Fun.
This one comes from Reagan Bodily. She actually submitted a couple, and I loved them all, so we're going to read them all.
Yay.
to you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, she said, I could go on all day about kindness stories. Here are a few of my favorites.
What a cool human.
I know. I love her.
That's
She's
awesome.
amazing. She said, the day after my husband and I got married, we stayed in a beautiful Grand Hotel on the plaza in Kansas City. It was the end of November and getting colder by the minute. Caleb and I were out walking around the shops, completely in our own world, ignoring all that was around us. All of a sudden, we were zapped back to reality when we noticed a man trying to get anyone's attention. He looked a little rough around the edges and honestly intimidating in his approach for conversation. But despite all of that, my husband stopped. He was mindful in that moment and could tell the man was frustrated about something and just needed some help. Turns out all he wanted was a Starbucks coffee to warm himself up. He was near the entrance of the store. There was no handicap access and he was in a wheelchair. Aww. He was so grateful to my husband for stopping. He gave us his money to buy his drink, which unfortunately is not at all what I was expecting to happen, and told us his order. We went inside, got him the drink he wanted, and took it out to him. He was so grateful to us for doing that, and I watched his tough demeanor soften just a little bit. I was so impressed by my husband that day for being so kind, being present enough to stop and take action in a situation that just needed a little kindness from someone.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my goodness. Like, I feel bad that that person didn't have access to go into a warm coffee shop to get what he was wanting. That would be so frustrating.
And needed.
Oh,
I love that you guys stopped. Again, it is hard on these like first appearances and with strangers we don't know. It is easier to just be like, I'm just going to ignore.
I think especially even as a woman,
world.
we just want to be safe all the time.
But I love that like he was able to look past that. And then it was just like, I can't get in this building.
Yeah.
And it's freezing out here.
I just need someone to go get me a coffee. Here's my money. Please take it. Go get me this thing.
I'm not asking you to buy me anything.
No.
Nothing. I can't get in.
Like, I physically cannot get into the store. And it's, that would be so disheartening as a person.
So I'm so glad that you guys went and helped him. So nice.
That's cool. All right. She has another story. Recently, I wanted to contribute to a fundraiser a friend was doing for her daughter's high school sports team. The tough part was she was selling mums flowers in Kansas City, and I was all the way in Guatemala. I knew my mom and several other friends in the area had already ordered them for themselves, so I reflected a bit more and decided on a friend to send the flowers to that hadn't already ordered. That's so sweet. This friend and I are tight, but distant relationships can be tricky. We hadn't talked in probably 4 months. When I reached out and told her the flowers are coming, I didn't know what was really going on in her life. She responded that she was so happy and so grateful. She then opened up and let me know that the timing could not have been more perfect for her, as her and her husband have been trying to get pregnant for over 6 months. And she was having a very hard time with it. The flowers came and brightened her day for a few weeks. Just a little sweet. Oh, man. And the ultimate happy ending to this story is that about 3 weeks later, she texted me a picture of her little boy wearing a Big Brother shirt. That is so sweet. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. I think what people underestimate is that not only can you just like do something nice for someone, but like you can really help them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And there's an internal compass that will kind of help guide you in what you can do for other people.
Yeah.
You know, she obviously is very in tune with that part of herself.
Yeah.
Being able to recognize like, ooh, you know, like I feel like I want to do this thing. It's important to me. And she could have just been like, I'm in Guatemala. What am I going to do with these flowers? You
All
know?
the people I know
Yeah.
that like immediately in my head already have them.
Yeah.
So
That is so cool. Oh, that's so cool.
like challenging your brain to think beyond that
Yeah.
too. And then again, like that internal compass you were talking about it might know something about somebody that you don't necessarily know. Like you didn't know exactly what was going on with her,
Yeah.
but she actually needed
Yep.
something more. And so even though you hadn't talked to her for a little while,
Yeah.
it blessed her.
Yeah.
And then you were able to connect, and then like who knows if she would have texted you right when she got pregnant, you know?
Right.
So it's like then you got to see this beautiful piece of this like whole thing come together that she'd been working so hard for and dreaming of.
Oh.
And you got to be a part of it. So it's like
And
it's
it
so sweet.
strengthens that connection.
Yes.
It deepens that human
That bond,
aspect.
the
Oh,
love.
So good.
I love it.
Oh, so good.
Okay, another Reagan story. Another one of my favorite kind of story is actually my mom's story. She was a single mom for about 10 years while I was growing up. It was just her and I, 2 peas in a pod. Of course, as a child, I didn't know how much weight and responsibility she carried around, but looking back now, I can see how hard of a working woman she was and still is. This story takes place during that time of her life. Her very best friend and support had just moved away. She was just getting out of her first post-divorce long-term relationship, and her job was growing more stressful by the day. And she's a single mom.
Yeah.
Oh, so hard.
They are superheroes.
Seriously.
I'm not a single mom, and I feel like I'm like, you know, drowning half the time.
Yeah.
It's the single moms, single parents, superheroes.
So hard.
Whew.
One day she called her sister to vent about the hard times and get some validation. A few days later, a package from her sister showed up in the mail. It was a box of brownie mix. The note on the outside of the box read, "Bake it for someone else."
Ooh, not for her.
Oh, I love it. This is so good.
A challenge.
I love this sister so much.
I know.
My mom was bugged at first by this, thinking, I don't have time to make brownies for someone else. I'm the one that needs brownies in my life right now. She let the box sit on the kitchen counter for a few days, and eventually decided to humble herself and make the brownies for a specific family in the area. When all was said and done, the family was given the brownies. My aunt's act of kindness to help my mom be kind had begun to have a domino effect on the local community around us. I love this pay it forward attitude and mindset. So grateful for examples of kindness like this in my life. What a cool response
Yeah.
to someone struggling. Normally it's like, oh, I'll fix it for you.
Yeah.
I will do. And that's also has a huge level of like love,
Compassion, impact.
connection,
Yeah.
impact, goodness. Like that can go so far.
Yeah.
But sometimes reminding like, hey, I think maybe you are like in your head
Yeah.
and you're too focused in on you right now. That's hard, but it's so cool.
Obviously, it depends on the relationship.
Yeah. This sister obviously knew her sister very well.
Very well, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love that.
And then she was able to be kind. And then like the entire community started having a domino effect. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cute.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, people are cool.
They are.
I'm just continuously amazed by people.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk about these kinds of things, stories come up, things come out of the woodworks, and I just like am in awe of people. They're so cool.
inspiring.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, that's why we wanted to do this episode and get
Yeah.
submissions specifically, because we could just talk about our own experiences, and we have some awesome ones, but it's so cool to learn
Yeah.
and like grow more from other people's experiences, both receiving kindness and giving that to
Yeah.
other people.
I love that. All right. This next submission is from Elise Johnston. Who's that?
It's my sister-in-law, Megan's sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Megan Karen.
Okay. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm pretty sure the other Megan has only brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. This is from Elise Johnston. All right. Whenever my family and I travel and it falls on a Sunday, sometimes we don't have access to a church building or it doesn't align with our travel plans. Because of this, my parents taught my sister and I that just because we might not be able to go to church doesn't mean we can't do a service for someone else or a nice activity while we're traveling. My parents' simple and Christ-like example has impacted me, and I continue to do the same with my husband. Alan and I hope, there we go, hope to one day teach this to our future children. A little while ago, my husband and I went to Disneyland. We were in California Adventure on a Sunday, and we were brainstorming as to what act of service we could do for someone. Oh, I already love this. Exhausted from the day before, and that day we finally sat down for lunch, and I had just finished eating when I heard a young family trying to find a spot who had 2 small children. If you know Disneyland, California Adventure, there's nowhere to sit.
Not a single place.
There's never enough spaces for places to sit. All right. Without looking to see if my husband was finished, I stood up and said, "You can have our table." The dad was shocked and relieved. Every table and chair was completely taken at that time. The same day, we decided that our act of service of the day was going to be buying a couple of churros for someone. We stood around the churro cart for about 15 minutes, observing families and wondering who we would gift them to. We both felt prompted when we saw a family with 3 young boys sitting down for a break. We bought them some churros, went over and said, "Hey, we wanted to do an act of service by gifting some churros and saw your beautiful family." Oh, the parents were so surprised and grateful, and the boys were excited. After talking with them, we realized they were members too of the same church. My parents' example of kindness has impacted me to be more Christ-like whenever I travel, to find ways of showing love to strangers, even if the situation isn't ideal. I want to do that.
I know.
That is so cool.
Especially when you're traveling.
Yeah.
It is so easy. Again, you're like, I am here for me.
Yep.
And me only.
Yep.
When we went to Disneyland, something that I loved, one of the girls that was with us, like every single person she saw that was trying to take a selfie, she just ran over and was like, "Can I take that picture for you?
Yeah, let me
Can I
get
take
that
picture for you?" Like,
and she took good pictures.
Yeah, I want to take this picture for you. I want to take this picture for you. And I was like, that's awesome.
She was so cool.
Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Because again, you're on a mission. You've got your thing, especially in Disneyland. You're like,
You're on a time crunch. You're on a budget. You're
rushing to
stressed.
all your, trying to get to your fast pass next line. Like,
fighting against the other people.
so actively looking outward and seeing like, what can we do today to serve somebody else?
Yeah.
Love that on vacation. That's really cool.
That is such a cool idea. Plus,
Thank you for the inspiring story.
the idea, like, oh, our table is available. You take it kind of thing. So small.
Yeah.
It's not like, they're buying a pass for someone to Disneyland, you know? They're just giving
It's
up their
doable
table.
for anyone.
So doable. And they count it. That's what it counts, Like any little thing you can totally count.
I love that.
Yep.
Okay, this one comes from Megan Karen, my sister-in-law. Okay. In early elementary school, I had a hard time making friends. One day I got hurt on the monkey bars and spent the rest of recess with one of the yard duties. Her and I chatted about random things and had lots of fun. Over the next couple of years, she always checked up on me and chatted with me during different breaks. We had inside jokes and she gave me good advice about how to treat others. Eventually, I changed schools, but that yard duty continued to write me letters, checking up on me and telling me about her week, and I would write her back. It always meant so much to me that there was someone there who cared about my day and was willing to listen.
Teachers are on a different level.
Yeah.
I have had very special experiences with teachers, and I'm sure everyone has.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
They are. I love them.
That's awesome.
I love this story also because I think sometimes too we think like we can only help people who are in our same like lifeboat and life situation.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of like different generations being able to mix and learn from each other and benefit each other in a way that like goes beyond just a small, simple act. Like this obviously went on for years. So I think that's really awesome as well.
I feel like that's something we struggle with. We're very into labels.
Yeah.
Millennials, Gen Zs, Gen X, and Boomers, right? We're so
we don't
like
mix.
no.
But we do.
I love that idea of being able to let that go, and find people outside of your lifeboat. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sweet. All right. The next one comes from Mallory England. She says, in my teenage years, my family had a tradition of providing Christmas and the Christmas meal for families that we knew were in need. There was one family in our neighborhood that the father had lost his job shortly before Christmas, and they weren't sure how they were going to make it the next few months until he found a new job. Oh, that's always so hard.
I know.
So sad and so hard. I remember the night that we dropped off our gifts and our box of food items to them as a family. We would always doorbell.
It's a typo.
I was like, what? I'm going with it's supposed to say doorbell ditch. Ding dong ditch kind of a thing.
It's definitely a typo.
I'm sorry. That one caught me way off guard because we're like
too.
so wholesome and sweet and I'm crying at Disneyland.
Oh, Christmas.
It just says we would always doorbell that ish, but like the real word. And leave it anonymously. So I'm going to go with his doorbell ditch.
I think so.
This particular night, I remembered my sisters and I were the ones dropping it off at the door and running. As we ran and hid, I remember listening to the excitement of the kids finding gifts at their front door, and shortly after that had brought it all inside. The mother and father still remained on the front porch, and with tears in their eyes, I remember the father of the family yelling out into the dark of the night, "Thank you so much." Oh, that is a memory that will always stick with me, and I'm so grateful that my parents took the opportunity to pass it forward to other families while also teaching their teenagers the importance of service and what Christmas is really about. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I especially love when whole families do something together. I think that's so good for kids to participate in and like see and learn at a young age. So I love this.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah, we were kind of recipients of that. Not me personally, but people in my home, because my husband's family moved in with us after the war started in Ukraine. They left Ukraine and came and lived with us for a year. And their first Christmas in the States, we had a family that I was in contact with, and they were like, hey, we want to get them some things, because they each came here with a backpack. That was it.
Yeah.
Important documents, one change of clothes, and my mother-in-law came with some walking sticks because she thought she might have to walk
across
and
the border.
hike the countries her way here, you know. She was full on Von Trapp in her mind. Like I'm going to have to escape the country.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Anywho, so it was very important to have her walking sticks just in case. And so it was really cool to see that kind of thing and to be kind of on a receiving end of that. It was really, really sweet because they bought them a lot of like kitchenware, which is really expensive and needed. And so that kind of set them up when they first moved here and they were able to finally move into their own place. They got my brother-in-law, who was 16 at the time, they got him some fun Nike shoes. They got him some cool Star Wars Legos because he loves both of those things. It was fun. It was really cool.
People have such goodness in them.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I love that. Here's our last submission story for this topic. This comes from Elissa England. She said, I've been thinking about my papa recently, and I want to share about him. He passed away December 12th, 2012 of heart failure. So I was 12 years old when he passed, but all my memories with him, he was always so kind or cracking jokes or being silly. He loved to make others smile. One of the things that I found out later on after he passed was that there was an elderly lady in their ward, and her husband had long since passed. She lived alone, but ever since her husband had gone, once a week, he would stop by and bring her flowers and chat for a little bit to remind her that she had friends that care and he did this for years, even the week that he passed. And he was starting to not feel well. He went and gave her flowers. Okay, that's really sad and super sweet.
Oh,
like he's not feeling good. Shortly after that, he had to go to the hospital where he stayed the rest of the week until he passed away. He knew he didn't need to bring flowers every week, that she would have been just as happy just to see a friendly face and have someone to talk to, but he loved seeing faces light up and bright smiles, and that's why he went the extra mile.
He went many extra miles.
What a sweetie.
I know, that's so cute.
I love old men.
I know.
So much.
They're the best.
Oh my God, that's
We
so
just
cute.
watched Return to Me because we hadn't seen it. And oh my goodness, cutest little rom-com. The stars of
Cutest
the
old
show are the old men in the show.
The Irish / Italian men.
Old men. They're so cute. Oh, so adorable.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, obviously, we've shared a lot of good ideas. We've shared some uplifting stories to hopefully help motivate you to get in the habit of looking outside of yourself and finding ways to be kind to other people, to show that we're all humans and we're all just trying to make it through, right? And to maybe ease that a little bit.
Yeah.
It can be so difficult to just deal with life sometimes. And so being able to pay that forward and be a light to other people can make a huge difference for anyone around you.
I know that for me, these stories and everything we've shared is already motivating me to be more like this. Yeah. Like, obviously, we're sharing this for our entire audience, but it really does impact me and inspire me to try and incorporate more of this into my daily life.
Yeah,
and notice the people around me, see them, open my eyes, do good, kind things. Yeah. So I think it's awesome.
And in the end, isn't that what matters more? I don't know. I just think I'm just sitting here thinking about like how I'm like always busy with like work or my phone or just things, I'm just distracted. And I'm like, in the end, when I have died, when I'm like, at the end, I want to be able to look back and be like, the things that really mattered were the things that I poured energy into.
Yeah.
And so we encourage you to do that. We encourage you to pour energy into being kind and to do something every day that is kind for another human.
And the thing is like, we really do have time.
Yeah.
We think we don't. That's one lesson that I really loved taking away from my mission from our mission president, Kenneth Packer. Yeah. Was he would always tell these stories of he was running an entire, church system in a foreign country in another language.
Yeah.
And he had a lot on his plate with a young family with him, with 4 children at home, and they didn't speak the language. Like,
they didn't really want to be there.
It could have just been so overwhelming.
Right.
And yet, like, he would always come into our mission councils and meetings, and he would tell a story of like, I was trying to go meet this like apostle or this person today, and I had, this opportunity to speak with someone at a bus stop, and I almost didn't, or help this babushka cross the street, and I almost didn't.
Yeah.
And he was always kind of like in his mind, like, no, I have time.
Yeah.
I have time for this person. And I thought that was so impactful. We do have a lot we need to do. We have a lot of important things. That doesn't mean our stuff isn't important and that we shouldn't ever get to it.
Right.
But we do have time for other people.
Yeah.
And we have more of it than we think we do.
I like to think of Duolingo, because Duolingo sends me messages every single day, and it's like, you got 3 minutes? And I'm like, I know I can do a quick little lesson in 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I can do 2 lessons in 3 minutes. So fast. I'm like, I got time for that. If I got time for that, then I can absolutely do something super short. That can be so easy.
Send a text, say a prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You can do it.
So that's our challenge to you this week.
Do the thing.
Be kind. See people.
Yeah.
Go out there and try to find a unique way, or just a way to get in the habit of helping somebody else.
Yeah. We're just trying to combat any of the darkness that's in the world.
Spread the light.
Yeah.
Spread the love. Spread the connectivity.
And joy. Yeah. There is joy to be had. Yeah.
Yeah. We love you guys. We all got this.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Living Big podcast. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review.
Join us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for all the things from relatable mom memes to fun girls' night ideas with your besties.
See you next week.